Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tutoring Hub. My name is Miss Rebecca, and we're going to be breaking down different levels of math skills. Please don't hesitate to leave questions in the comments below. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Miss Rebecca here. We're going to do a quick vocabulary recap for dividing, and we're going to go over the dividend, the divisor, and the quotient. So I've already labeled in my two division problems here my dividend and both. So, and 200 divided by 5 equals 40. 200 is our dividend. That is what we are dividing, okay? The divisor is what you are dividing by, so that is the 5. And over here, it's outside the division house. And then finally, the quotient, this one is easy. It's just our answer to the problem, okay? So as you can see, in a division problem, the ending is the quotient, okay? So I put answer. Let's scratch that. Quotient, okay? So we're using our proper math vocabulary, okay? Lastly, for our vocabulary review, we're going to talk about the quotient. And this one is easy. It's the answer to a division problem. So our answer is 40, so that is the quotient. So remember, the dividend is what we are dividing. The divisor is how many groups you're trying to have. And then quotient is how many is in each group. Okay? Okay, that's the end of the vocab review. Now we're going to do some practice solving using our standard algorithm, okay? So I put regular algorithm, that's our standard where we're going to set up the division house. Now, I know that 90 is my dividend, so that goes on the inside, okay? So this is what we are dividing. And my divisor is 2, so that goes on the outside. And now we're going to try and find our quotient, okay? So I'm going to think about my two facts, okay? So 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, and so on. So now I'm thinking, how many times can 2 go into 9? If you're thinking to yourself 4 times, you are correct. So 2 times 4 is 8. Now we're setting up our subtracting. So 9 minus 8 is 1. Now we started, and when we're dividing, we always start with our bigger place value. So in this problem, it's the tens place, and then we're going to go down to the ones. So right now I have a 1. Now I'm going to drop down my 0. And now 2 goes into 10. If you're thinking to yourself 5 times, you are correct. And 10 minus 10 is 0. So there's no remainder for this problem. So 90 divided by 2 is 45, and 45 is my quotient. Okay, we'll do one more, and we're going to do a 3-digit problem now. So my dividend is 886. That goes on the inside. And then on the outside, my divisor is 3. So now, just because I have 3 digits on the inside and 1 on the outside, we can easily tackle this problem. We just need to think. We're thinking about our 3 facts. So count by threes: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and you can keep going. So, but we're going to break it down by place value. So in this one, we're starting with the hundreds place. So I'm going to think, how many times can 3 go into 8? Well, I know that 3 times 2 is 6. So now 8 minus 6, I'm going to have 2 left over. So I'm done with my hundreds, and I'm going to bring down the tens place, which is an 8. So 3 times what gets me close to 28? 3 times 9 is 27. So now 28 minus 27, and I'm left with 1. Now lastly, I'm going to bring down the ones place, the 6. Now I know I'm looking at this and I'm thinking 6. 3 times something does not end in 6. Okay. So I'm going to have a remainder on this one. So 3 times 5 gets me close to that. And I'm going to record above the ones, which is 15. So now 16 minus 15, I'm going to start with 6 minus 5. That's 1. And then I know that 1 minus 1 is 0. So now my answer, my quotient is 295, remainder 1. And I'm going to record that. Now, if I'm unsure if this is the correct answer, I can always do a check on a division problem, okay? So to check it, we're going to take our answer. So our quotient. So we're going to start with 295. I'm going to ignore my remainder for now. So 295, and we're going to multiply it by the divisor, which is 3. So 3 times 5 is 15. So I put my 5, carry my 1. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. So I put my 8, and then I carry my 2. And now 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So I have 885, and now I'm going to look at my remainder, and I had 1 left over. So I'm going to add 885 plus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. 8 plus nothing is 8. 8 plus nothing is 8. And I get 886, so it does check. And I didn't show the checkup on this one, so if we want to show the check for this one as well, if we're unsure of our answer, we can do our check, and we do the opposite of dividing, which is multiplying. So I'm going to take my quotient, 45, and multiply it by the divisor, which is 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and it's 90, so it does check. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again. Welcome back to Math with Miss Rebecca. We're going to work on dividing using an area model. So if we are unsure of how to think about using the standard algorithm, this is a different way that we can think about it, okay? So my problem here in number 1 is 90 divided by 2 equals what? I'm not sure. So 90 is my dividend and 2 is my divisor. So I'm going to start by writing my dividend right here in the first box. And I'm using 2 of these boxes side by side because I have 2 digits in my dividend. And then my 2 goes on the outside, and I don't need a second one because it's one number. Okay, so now I'm thinking to myself, 2 times what number gets me close to 90? So if I know 40, I can just write 40. But if having the 0 with the 9 stumps me, I can just think about, I can hide it from myself and think about 9. And I know that 2 times 4 is 8. So I can put my 4 and then add a 0. And we know that that's 80. So now we're going to subtract 90 minus 80, and I'm left with 10. And now I'm going to bring 10 over here, write it at the top. So now 2 goes into 10 5 times. And I know that's 10, and there's no remainder on this one. Let's add these 2 together. So I'm taking the first digit plus the second one, because there's only a 0 right there for right now. But 40 plus 5 is 45. So 45 is my answer, my quotient, okay? And remember, the quotient is an answer to a division problem. Now, if I'm unsure if this is correct, I can go back and check it using the opposite of dividing, which is multiplying. So I'm going to take the quotient, which is 45, and then I'm going to multiply because that's the opposite of dividing. And my divisor is 2, so 45 times 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. I put my 0, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I do get 90, and I know that 45 is my answer. Now, if you're solving a problem and you get this wrong, then you have to go back and look at what you were multiplying by to see if you might have made a mistake. It happens to everybody. We live and learn, and that makes us better. All right, now we're going to move on to a 3-digit divided by 1 digit, okay? And we're still using the area model if we are unsure on our standard algorithm, just to break it down piece by piece. Okay, so I have 3 boxes. 1, 2, 3. This is a 3-digit number, so I'm going to have something in every box, okay? Now, I put my 3 on the outside. I start with 886, and now I'm going to start with that first digit. So I'm thinking 3 times what gets me close to 8? 3 times 2, and then we can add 2 zeros because that 8 is in the hundreds place. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then 0, 0. So now 886 minus 600. 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 0 is 8. And now 8 minus 6 is 2. So I have 286. I'm going to take this number and put it at the top over here. Now I'm looking at 286 and I'm thinking, I know that 3 cannot go into 2, right? So now I'm looking at 28. I can ignore the 6 for right now. So 28, 3 times 9 is 27. Okay, so that's 27. Now I need to add a 0. So 3 times 90 is 270. Okay, so now 286 minus 270. 6 minus 0 is 6. 8 minus 7 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, so now I can bring 16 at the top of this box. So 3 cannot go into 1, right? So we're looking at the whole number 16, okay? So 3 times 5 gets me close to 16, which is 15. So 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So now I'm going to have a remainder because I'm out of my boxes, right? Okay, so 200 plus 90 plus 5. I get 295. And then I had a 1 down here, so that is going to be my remainder. So here's our quotient. 295, a remainder 1. Now, if we're unsure if this is our answer because we think we might not should have a remainder, we can do a quick check. So, what is the opposite of dividing? If you said to yourself multiplying, you are correct. So we're going to take our quotient, which is 295. We're going to ignore our remainder for right now. We're just focusing on our whole number. Times 3, because that's our divisor. So 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to put my 5 under the ones, put my 5 under the ones place, and then carry my 1 up above the 9. That's in the tens. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. So I put my 8 in the tens place, and I carry my 2. Then 3 times 2 is 6. We add 2 and we get 8. So 885. Now we're going to add our remainder of 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6. 8 plus nothing is 8. 8 plus nothing is 8. I get what I started with, which is the dividend. So 886, it does check. And remember, if you're doing your check and it doesn't get you back to your dividend, then you have made a mistake along the way. So go and check your multiplying, or when you were subtracting, maybe you mis-subtracted. Thank you and enjoy your evening.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to visit the Tutoring Hub online at TutoringHub.info. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any videos. If you have a suggestion for a video, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments or send us a DM. And we also offer advocacy and tutoring. Thank you.